Okay. Hopefully I can be heard. Um, it. This is the semifinals match I'm going to be commentating on my own. This is Rocco Food Chain against Light Paws. So this is two combo decks. Both of them are very explosive, very powerful. Light Paws has the distinct benefit of being very, very consistent. However, Rocco is a deck that can just kind of go over Light Paw because, as we're seeing here, it has Food Chain, which, if you can get the Food Chain combo off, it doesn't matter if Light Paw is hitting you for 18. As long as you're not dead, you can just Food Chain and win. So that's kind of the tricky thing. And Rocco has a lot of interaction for Light Paws, but Light Paws doesn't have all that much interaction for Rocco. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And so, yeah, we will. Yep, we're seeing Light Paws just being run out without even a lash knife to protect it. So, this is, I think, just a risky play of just hoping for the best. Although, here's the thing, frankly, with Food Chain, Rocco can just win off of Rocco X equals 2. So, if Rocco has a way to get 5 mana right now, Rocco can just win. But that's a decently big ask. However, if every creature generates a mana, essentially, that means you just have to chain creatures. Okay, so we're seeing no land drop with a bird, so we're definitely going to win next turn. So basically, Mox has one shot, which is now. Can they get lethal damage this turn? Which is very possible. It just is asking for a lot. Alternatively, if they have a 2-drop, they can get the Sheltered by Ghosts, which can exile Food Chain. So that's another option. Okay, we're seeing a Mask of Long Grace, probably getting Ethereal Armor. Mask of Long Grace is a particularly good card against a whole lot of decks because it essentially gives protection from most decks that aren't on white. So here it matters less, but okay, we are seeing a 2-drop. I would imagine they're probably grabbing Sheltered by Ghosts right now. Let's see if I'm correct. Yep, there we go. So Sheltered by Ghosts is going to eat Food Chain. Now, if Rocco has removal for Sheltered by Ghosts, that will make it so that, we'll be basically back at square one. However, possibly that extra turn of just getting rid of Food Chain will be enough to maybe get lethal damage. Because right now it's slapping for 8. And so next turn very much would be able to get lethal if it is just removing Shelter by Ghosts. If they somehow have March of Otherworldly Light, pitching a card, and then being able to pay the ward, then they could get rid of Light Paws itself, and then that's pretty much GG's. So, we'll see. But if it's something like Boseiju, then it'll only free Food Chain and not actually get rid of Light Paws. Alright, what are we looking at? Heliod, yes. So Zicrown's list is also running Heliod combo on the side. But from looking at it, unless Light Paws doesn't have any sort of enchantments in their hand, it's looking like Zicrown just wasn't fast enough. Yep, so that's a Shield, Duty, and Reason. which is interesting that it's main board, but hey. And so that should be enough because you're going to just tutor for, frankly, you don't even need, yeah, you can just tutor for a Shard Mage's Rescue. And because now it has protection from green, so Firewood Symbiote can't block. And so that's looking like lethal. That's an extra 3 damage. And for extra good measure, here's a Zealot's Conviction. So that's, yeah, super hyper lethal. This is Lightpaw's game. All right. So that's basically what we're kind of looking at in this matchup is, okay, is really on the Rocco deck to be able to stop Lightpaws. Because Lightpaws can't really easily stop Food Chain. As we saw there, it can successfully stop Food Chain if Lightpaws is left on the field and they have a 2-drop, because Sheltered by Ghost is a silly card. But other than that, I believe there are 2 removal spells that are not Sheltered by Ghosts in the main board. And both of those are creature removal spells. So I assume there's some amount of sideboard tech for enchantments or artifacts. Just because, facing something like Disruptor Flute is a real concern for Lightpaws. So we'll see. Right now, Lightpaws being up a game means that Rocco is in hot water. I would not be surprised if Rocco loses this one. Rocco's a particularly resilient combo deck, but not necessarily not quite as all in as Lightpaws is, which is usually to its benefit, but when facing against another combo deck like this, it can sometimes be to its detriment. So we'll see. Right now, okay, so we're seeing Zicrown mull, but Mox keep. Okay, Zicrown is going down to 5, which is a very bad sign for them. Because that means that even if they find a keepable hand that has sufficient interaction for Lightpaws, they probably don't have enough to push their own combo. Okay. Let's see what the opener is. Stomping Ground's tapped. I assume Lightpaws is going to either just play a land or a land plus a protection piece. Yes, like a Giver of Runes. So that means that usually you're going to need to have 2 removal spells for Lightpaws. That's going to be 1 removal spell to target, to threaten to remove Lightpaws, and then 1 removal spell to respond to the flashed in protection piece. So now that count goes up to 3 because you now need to also get rid of the Giver of Runes. So another option is if you just play a Drannith Magistrate here or a Disruptor Flute, that would significantly slow down Lightpaws. Okay, so this is the secret third option, which is just Food Chain and hope that it just works out. I assume we're going to see very similar structure to last time, with just running out the Lightpaws and saying, okay, either answer Lightpaws or win with Food Chain. If you can't do either of those, then you just lose. Let's see what Zicrown has. Floating Colorless. All right, so that's 4 mana at their disposal. They just need to play another creature. If they have any creature in hand, it kind of needs to be a 1-drop because they need the colors, is the thing. So right now, that's their main struggle. Because yes, they can get to 5 mana, but they won't have all 3 colors for Rocco. Let's see what they'll do. Okay. Seems like Zicrown is thinking, which probably means that he's in a bad spot. We'll see if that's the case, but usually if you have like an easy removal piece or something, you probably don't need to think. Okay, so that's a prismatic ending on Light Paws, I assume. Yep, they go to protect, and now a lightning bolt or something would be pretty nice. Okay, so just getting rid of the giver of runes. Okay, which makes sense. And letting Light Paws get protection from a color. Okay, so the colorless goes away. So this is now in very risky territory. Theoretically, they're theoretically, yep. Okay, so top deck Lash Knife is a pretty good top deck here because that means that there's no way that Rocco is getting rid of Light Paws now. Now, Brilliant Wings is a terrifying card, but it is unfortunately not legal in this event because that comes out on the 5th. So instead, you have Sheltered by Ghost, which stops Food Chain and gives Ward 2. And I assume that Mox has a Flash 1-drop in hand, which basically can tutor up the Shard Mage's Rescue. Okay, Benevolent Bodyguard will also do it. Possibly they have both. And so now Rocco really needs like a board wipe. But it can't be a red board wipe, which is the tricky part. So it really just has to be specifically our lovely Wrath of the Skies. The reason why it can't be a red board wipe is because Benevolent Bodyguard will give protection from red. Okay, so missing a land drop, having 2 mana up, this, I think Mox has won this. You cast a 1-drop aura here, grab Ethereal Armor, and that adds a whole bunch of damage already. And frankly, if I were in their shoes, I would just play another 1-drop aura because I'm not going to be worrying that hard about if Rocco, because what Rocco legitimately needs is exactly Wrath of the Skies and a way to generate 2 mana, right? So that is a huge ask for the deck. But it seems Mox is playing it safe, so keeping up that 1 mana flash protection piece. If they have something like Galadriel's Dismissal, that'll be incredibly brutal. Okay, so Boseiju to get rid of, I assume, the Shelter by Ghosts to free the food chain. Yes. So now there's a chance Rocco's still in it, but the odds aren't looking good. So food chain's free. What they need now is to win with food chain. There's no other way around that. That takes 2 damage off Light Paws, but Light Paws is going to be hitting for lethal next turn. The secret with Light Paws is always assume that it'll be hitting for lethal, and always assume that you cannot block Light Paws, because 9 times out of 10, both of those will be true. Oh, wow. Okay, so sideboard Winter Moon, I think, cleans up this game. Because at this point, only access to 1 mana means the Food Chain Dream is not happening. And unless they have specifically land into double removal, then they're just dead. There's a world in which, out of the 4 cards in Mox's hand, they can't get lethal, but with only 13 health, all you need is, I believe, a single 2-drop aura will do the job. All right. Ditch Effort, Guide of Souls, just in case Light Pause is somehow blockable, but this game is over. Yeah, there's an Idolized grabbing the either All That Glitters, or it's probably grabbing All That Glitters because you're going to have Griff's Boon to give flying. Yes, it could also grab Spirit Mantle, which will give protection from creatures. Okay, yeah. So grab Spirit Mantle, try Copy and Sight, grabs All That Glitters, and you win. So that is the semifinals. The finals, if you look over here, I don't know if there's a chance you'll be able to see this. There's a chance you won't be able to. If you are seeing this, I apologize for the ads. So it is King Gambit with Spider-Man 2099 and MoxMango with Light Paws. Previously, King Gambit took out MoxMango 2-0. So it's looking like, it looks like King Gambit is the one that is favored here significantly. But yeah. That is the game. If you want to tune in for the finals, I don't know when that'll be, but I'll try to make sure that I will be streaming, or somebody will be streaming, because it's the finals. Also, in a double elimination bracket, MoxMango would need to win 2 matches to actually win the finals, which is why it's like really hard. So we'll see. Yep, and there's Hyper Lethal from Light Paws. And yeah, I'm going to go check in with the players, see how it's going.
A Rocco, and I was like, I think they got like a turn 1 win with Rocco. It was so insane.
That's my Christmas line, yeah.
Hey, cuz. So we finished.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. The Light Pause. It's so silly. It's
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tutor for removal. Teehee.
It's really good.
Yeah. Ooh,
So,
pardon me.
I still feeling that I was 1 throw away to win those 2 matches.
What's up, cuz? Sorry?
So you're going to be up against King Gambit, which you already like.
I've already lost against him.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is.
And you need to win 2 matches in a row.
I got pretty thrashed by Gambit last time as well, so I'm not gonna lie, this isn't looking very good for me. There's a chance, but there's not a very big chance.
But it looks like you got Light Paws into 2nd place, so.
Yeah, I got Light Paws to the finals, which is awesome. I'm absolutely gonna bring this to Tiny Times. And then we'll see how it goes there in the top 8,
Yeah.
can do really well, or it could get thrashed. We'll find out.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what other people bring. More Rockos, more food chain. we'll
Probably
see.
bring in Rocco again, but with
Hell yeah. Nah, Rocco's
super rocking.
Rocco's super strong. I really like Rocco.
I want to test out the one that wins in NorCal with Cobb and...
Oh yeah, there was a tournament report recently where Rocco got on top. Let's see what other decks. Because I'm really curious what sort of decks the NorCal crowd are using. Because they have like a very different sort of meta. Which makes it interesting because they have like different decks pop up. Like they run more VVs, and then we don't see like any VVs here. Yeah, VV control. Captain America sounds pretty dope. Haven't seen a lot of these. Is anyone playing Wan Shi Tong here?
Not yet.
Somebody was playing it in the WTP and really well over there.
Wan Shi Tong, I know. I don't know. I had one game with Zer, actually against Yukos, and then it was like, oh, you can change your deck. So I just switched decks to Vivi for the rest of them. And Vivi's really fun. I don't know, like more people should be playing Vivi. Like do a thing, get a little damage, get a little mana. And if you have Curiosity in Vivi, it's so euphoric. Like being able to turn everything into a cantrip and then just making 20 billion mana. It's so much fun. Although I think Gearson Stan, I want to test that one out. Flapjack beat me up with it, and there's a really fun tech where it was like we would both flip a coin until we both got heads, and then every time someone got a tails, it did 1 damage. So it's just like we both flipped coins, and I just took 15 damage out of nowhere with like Grayson on the board, which was nuts. And it's like a one cost spell or something. I love flipping coins. I love gambling. I think Grayson's done will be very interesting. There's too many commands. Yeah. There's too many commanders to play.
Yeah, I want to make a mono red crack deck just for flipping coins.
Mono red Krog? Hell yeah. I would love Krog, like some sort of Krog deck to be good, but Krog is at the top ends. Krog's at 2. I was thinking Krog's at 3 for some reason.
Yeah.
Krog's at 2. It could be like a really bad Ruby Storm. Like if you go Krog and then build it like Rowl or something, where you like where you have your mana and your grape shots and like all your impulse draws and stuff. So just rituals and impulse draws and a mono red Krog deck could be interesting. Just Rowl, but you flip coins.
Yeah. Well, you also flip coins in Rowl, but for different reasons.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. No, that is right. You flip coins in Rowl. I still need to beat Rowl. I need to verse Audrey sometime again, because I think I versed Rowl when I was on Zer, and it blew me out so hard. It's really hard to, like, you need interaction, I reckon. Like, you need like 2 pieces of removal for Rowl, or like enough counter spells to get through, because it's blue. It's funky. What is the most popular monocolored deck? Because I know Gut's really strong.
Yeah, probably a red one.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm probably
Arasuk mono black combo. That got me in Weekly Brawl. Someone was on the mono black combo, and
Azarat?
like, yeah, Azarat. There was
that one too.
Who beat me up? I think it was Josh. Yeah, the Josh. Just got me. It's like, whoa. I could see it coming, but still. I don't know. You get Malcolm. You were playing Katara, right? How are you going with that one?
Who's playing Katara? I'm playing.
Were you playing Katara, Z? Well, who was playing Katara? Oh no, Feather was playing Katara. Sorry, they were doing mono blue Katara, and it was pretty. In all honesty, it was pretty fucking miserable to like verse, but they did beat me. Like it's a good deck, but it's like Katara and then just like flash creatures and counter spells.
You never play in your turn.
Yeah, I genuinely it was so like it was so bad. I ended up making like a Barrel Chief of Compliance deck, just like just I was just like fuck it. Like I need mono blue control. But I'm gonna do it my own way. Let's see. Barrier. If High Tide came back, Barrier would probably be pretty good. Like, was it Snap? You would go so positive on mana with like Snap, Frantic Search. I'm sure there's other untapped lands, right? There'll be more. But I don't know. I'm really curious to see like I want to get like all the decks after this SCT. I think Mecha actually is going to do like they did it for the last SCT. But it was like a meta thing, and it was really interesting. Going over like the different decks that were played, because I've started doing where is it? Yeah, I've started putting up like a color popularity thing for Tiny Looters because I was kind of curious to see like I don't know. I should probably do like a conversion rate to top like 8 or something for like leagues and whatever. But like just based off of a couple leagues, a few leagues. What is it? SCT 1 and then the August, September, and summer leagues. You can see stuff where it's like red and white being like some of the most popular decks, and then like no one plays green. Like like the sort of disparity with like 41 decks have green in the identity. Out of those, like you get a few mono green decks, but 8 mono red, 7 8 red, white, and blue have a lot of monocolored decks. No black. There was one black, which is interesting. Right. A lot of Boros, a lot of Orzhov.
A lot of Boros bluff.
I'll be seeing y'all around, but it was fun watching your match and having a bit of the post-match commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you have a good day. I'll talk to you later.